Hey you guys, it's me Kiana coming at you today, and I'm coming at you with a fried eggplant sandwich recipe. So, this will be a great recipe for you guys out there that are vegetarians. It can be made vegan friendly if you eliminate the eggs and use a substitute, but right now I am making this vegetarian friendly. So, of course you're going to need some key ingredients. I need that knife. You're going to need some key ingredients. Of course, it being that eggplant, of course. So find yourself a good size eggplant. It doesn't have to be extremely large because you're not going to use much of this to put on a sandwich or a bun. So this is a great and economical way of eating vegetarian. Now, of course, we are going to fry this in some olive oil, or you can use canola oil. In my case, I am using olive oil. To each his own as far as it being a healthy dish. But this is a dish that I fix for my daughter and for my household, and hopefully you can find it interesting as well. So I want to first see if my burner is starting to warm up a little. All right. Because I want that to start getting a little warm. Make sure you don't touch this, honey, because it's going to get hot in a minute. Okay, I don't want it to burn you. All right, so while that pan is being heating up, you're going to need certain ingredients besides the actual eggplant. You're going to need regular flour, all-purpose flour. You're going to also need a separate bowl of flour and egg mixture. We're going to season both of those because you got to understand eggplant takes on flavors. It doesn't have a pungent taste. It does have a distinct taste, but it doesn't have a pungent taste. So we're going to infuse other flavors into this eggplant. And this is also a great recipe for you guys that are beginning to be a vegetarian, and maybe you're wanting certain sandwich recipes, because I found that when a lot of people first start off being a vegetarian, you miss those sandwiches because, you get tired sometimes of a cheese sandwich or veggie sandwiches and things like that, whether hot and cold veggie sandwiches and stuff. They're great, but sometimes you want a little more. You want it to be a little bit more versatile. So this is a great recipe for that. Then you're going to need another bowl of incorporating some breadcrumbs and also some panko crumbs or flakes. And what that does is that's going to give us our coating. All right, so it's all about layering. Okay, so I'm going to show you the seasonings that you need, and as far as what we're going to use on our roll or our bread, which I have a fresh roll to fix Nene's sandwich on. We're going to use spinach and arugula, and we're going to also use a slice of cheese. Now you can use veggie cheese or whatever, or you can eliminate the cheese altogether. It doesn't have to be on there. And we're going to use a little bit of mayo. Again, these things can be modified to be veggie with incorporating veggie cheese instead of regular cheese, Vegeterian instead of regular mayo, and eliminating the eggs and using maybe some flaxseed and water. Mix that together. That gives it a more of a like binding or gooey substance to basically use that as a dredging technique. Alright, so we're going to slice these. You're going to slice them probably about 1/4 of an inch thick because you want it to have a little bit of bulk to it on the sandwich. And I'm going to show you an important tip that you're going to need to do while we're seasoning that flour and stuff. That's why I'm doing it as far as in this sequence, and you'll see why. We're going to use a little bit of salt on this, on each side. Why? Because that's going to draw out the moisture. Eggplant has a lot of moisture in it. That's going to draw out some of the moisture. Okay, so while we're mixing our seasonings together, we're going to have the moisture being drawn out. Keep in mind we already have our pan trying to heat up on the burner. Alright, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 pieces. Alright, now the smaller pieces like these, you can use 2 of them on a sandwich, like such, or just laying it on top of each other like that. The bigger pieces like this, you really can use 1. Okay, so that's why I said it's an economical way as well as a tasty way to fix a veggie dish. Alright, so we're going to lay these out and salt them. And I have my daughter sitting here with me, watching me. It's important, you guys, to show them how to fix and feed themselves, and also feed themselves economically. It doesn't matter what social status or income level you're at. It's always wise to be great and wise stewards over our money. That is biblical. So, as we are going about our day, you may want to just also share that with them. Alright, so I'm going to salt these. Again, the purpose of the salt is not just adding flavor, but it's also for drawing out the moisture in that eggplant. And you want to turn it over and do the same thing. So with that being said, as you can see, we are not going to have to use a whole pile of salt in the breading and things like that. You want to use some though, because you don't want the eggplant to just have a little salt to it and then the breading and stuff have a very bland taste. You want it to have, in all layers and aspect, to have a taste to it. A good taste at that. Alright, so while that is being waiting right there, we're going to go ahead and add, that's just some leftover salt that I had in my pan. Just put that, if you have any leftover, just put that in the breading. Alright, so this is going to be our wet moisture or mixture. Okay, this is going to be our dry, and this is going to be exclusively for the breading. So we have all 3 right here, right? Alright, so let's do these 2. Alright, we already put a little teeny bit of salt in that. What we're going to use is a little bit of garlic powder. And what I'm doing is all of these ingredients or seasonings I'm using, you're going to put this in all of the mixture. Okay. Right now that is a little bit of onion powder. Again, we're using all of this in all 3 of these bowls. It's going to have a cohesive taste and flavor. You know it's an intentional thing. And if you're worried about measurements, even though I try to stay away from giving you guys measurements, why? Because everybody's taste buds is different. Okay, this is just a little bit of salt seasoning, and since I didn't use too much salt, I can use a little in this too. Now, this, as far as the measurements, as I was stating before, I would say I probably use, as far as seasonings, I would say between a quarter, no, I would say about 1 teaspoon at best. Okay, so alrighty, so our pan is nice and smoky right now, and it's ready for the layering of that. It's ready for the layering of that eggplant. So we're going to go ahead and coat that pan. Oh, I see. Okay. I see. We're going to use a little bit of EVOO. which is extra virgin olive oil. You can also use a little bit of grapeseed oil. That's up to you. We're going to go ahead and mix this all together. Let's do our dry first, so that our spoon isn't caked up with the wet mixture. I'm going to show you how the layering process is, and then we're going to go ahead and throw those eggplant in here. Now I mix breadcrumbs and panko crumbs, which is going to give it really a great crust. And that would be the last step, this mixture. Okay. You want to mix that well. Make sure all the seasonings are together. And I'm going to do a video of certain things that you want to have in the house to fix vegetarian dishes when you want to start cooking from scratch and things like that. Certain things that you want to have in your house. The great thing is, we're going to mix this wet mixture together as well. The great thing is when you're cooking from scratch, especially for a vegetarian, is that you don't have to rely on those expensive Boca and Morning Star products. You can make it yourself. Alright, so we're going to turn the burner down because I don't want it to smoke too bad. Alright, we're going to mix this well. This is our dry mixture. Nay, give me a little water, huh? Alright, so we're going to add a little bit of water to this because you don't want it this thick, of course. This is more of a dough. I'm going to add a little bit of water. Okay. Now you can use for this, you guys, you can use tempura. That's up to you. You can get that in a box and you just simply have to add some water. But this does the same thing, and again, the key is trying to make these things yourself and not necessarily having to rely on a box or a pre-made product. Alright, so we are on our way. I'm going to just mix that. And what you want it is a consistency a little bit thinner than this. Just a tad bit thinner than this. Okay, so this is going to be our agent that's going to stick the breading to the eggplant. And this is a great consistency right here. So, used about, I would say about 4 teaspoons or 5 teaspoons of regular tap water. We also used about, you can use about a half a cup of flour. Then we used about a quarter cup of panko and a quarter cup of breadcrumbs. And that's what we got. And then we seasoned it, of course. So this is a great consistency right here. And let us get started with the layering. Okay? Alrighty, you guys. So, where's my plate at? And my pie holders.
Should have the pie holders.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. So this is what we're going to do, you guys. We're going to start using those eggplant. Alright. So what you want to do is you want to dredge it. You looking at it? Alright. You want to dredge it into the dry flour mixture. Alright. Dredge that. Now keep in mind we already took time to draw some of the moisture out, and I can already feel that it's not a lot of moisture in there, which is great. That's what we're looking for. Alright. Then you want to coat that into this mixture. Okay. This is a really great recipe, you guys, especially for you guys out there that say that you don't want to eat eggplant. Try this one. You'll eat it. Alright. Then I'm going to put it in the breadcrumbs, but before I do, I'm going to move the burner over so that you guys can actually see this. So you guys can actually see, because once you're ready to put it in the breadcrumbs, you're ready to go. Okay? Alright. So, we're going to turn our burner up. That's all ready to go. And we're going to put the eggplant into our bread mixture or breading. Okay? Let me just show you guys that. This is how you're going to do the. Okay. If you're seeing, that's how you're going to do. Now I'm only going to do one on camera, then I'll do the rest off of camera. But I wanted to be able to show you. Alright? So, I'm going to coat that in the good breading that we made ourselves.
Daddy, what for you? Huh?
Okay. We're ready to start cooking that. I'm going to go ahead and do another because I do have the space in the pan. So while that is roaring, we're going to go ahead and start breading another. Just as I did already a minute ago on camera, so it's nothing different I'm doing. The dry, then we're going to do the wet. And then we're going to do the bread. I'm just going to cook that on both sides. You could just leave it alone until you know it's done on each side. And you basically look at the time and see, since I'm doing this live, you can see for yourself how long that took. And we're going to drop that one in as well. Alright. Then you're going to need a spatula, of course, and I have that. We're just going to let that go. My burner was down a little low. Don't forget we used extra virgin olive oil, or you can use canola oil to do these. You can store these for like a day or two in the refrigerator, but keep in mind it's not going to have that crispy feel to the outside. Alright, but it will be done. You still can use it on the sandwich, and really it's not going to really matter, especially if you're using cheese and things like that, and you know, a little lettuce and whatever condiments you would use normally on a, you know, whatever kind of sandwich that you would usually have, of condiments. You know, you can still use that amount of condiments, or whatever condiments that you like. Ooh, I want to do that. Tip that over on me. We're in a whole type of different video. Alright. So we're just going to cook that on both sides. and it's going to get a crispy feel to it. It's going to it actually isn't going to look like eggplant. And actually, it's great to cook this on low if you can, because what you want to do is you want definitely the eggplant to get tender. You don't want it to be nice and coated on the outside and then crunchy eggplant in the center. That is not what you're going for. So, you know, if you cook it on low heat or medium heat, what that does is it allows the eggplant in the center to get done, as well as the outer layer. Then at the very end, you can always turn your heat up to high, and then for like a minute or two, coat each side, as far as like basically cook each side to get it that crispy on the outside, if you're following what I'm saying. So I hope this has helped you. Alright, so we can be able to turn this in a second. Not this second one, but this first one we definitely can turn. And you're going to be shocked when I turn it and you see what you have created out of eggplant. That is what you've created, you guys, out of eggplant. It resembles like a piece of boneless fried chicken. Or a chicken patty, yep, exactly. So that's one of the ways we're doing this like basically a replacement of a chicken patty. And maybe you don't want to have the traditional, you know, Morningstar chicken patty or fake meat chicken patty. You can use a piece of eggplant. And as you've seen, you know, you can get an eggplant on sale, like I got mine for. It was on sale for $179, $149 or $179. So we're going to get all of them. I made 11 slices out of the eggplant. So just think about how much money you're saving. So when people say that, you know, it's more expensive eating a certain kind of way, or eating vegan or vegetarian or healthy or whatever, it doesn't have to be. It just is all about your time, because I have noticed that it is a little bit more time consuming as far as cooking healthy or cooking, you know, for a vegan or whatever, or vegetarian. It is a little bit more time consuming, but we spend time talking on the phone, gossiping. We spend time looking at pointless videos on YouTube. We spend time talking about the chick next door or down the street. We spend time doing our hair and makeup. We spend time doing all these other things. Why is it an issue within ourselves if we spend time on doing things that better us internally, which also does or magnifies externally as well? So I hope you're getting what I'm saying, and I hope that you're receiving it the way that it's intended. But how does it smell? It smells so good, you guys, because those seasonings did, trust me, it makes a huge difference. Alright, so we can turn this second one as well, you guys. So what you want to do is you want to have your roll ready and put your mayo and your arugula or whatever you want on it. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do that as well. Did you want a regular roll, or do you want that fresh bread I made?
Hamburger roll.
You sure you want a hamburger? Okay, get one hamburger roll. Spread some mayo on your roll. And it doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that long. Why? Because you're using, keep in mind, you're using eggplant. You're not using meat. So these are actually about done. Okay. Your mayo. You want to add your mayo to it? And whatever else condiments you want. Did you want any mayo? What is it, mustard or anything? I already have the cheese. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put the cheese on her sandwich, you guys. I'm going to go ahead so that the cheese is melted. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and add the cheese to her eggplant. It kind of tastes, it smells like fish a little bit. So this is a great recipe to replace like a fish sandwich as well, you guys. Alright, so we're going to add a little bit of that pre-washed arugula and spinach. And I will show you guys the end results. I see that cheese is melting, you guys. And that is the end results. That is a eggplant, fried eggplant sandwich with cheese, spinach, and arugula, replacing what you normally would eat as like a chicken patty or whatever, but this is definitely vegetarian style. So on that note, I thank you all for watching. I thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully this has inspired you to fix these kind of dishes every now and then in your own home. And I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, and you can add a little bit of hot peppers, your deli style hot peppers. So on that note, you guys, I thank you all for tuning in. Talk to you guys later, and be blessed.